Well, what a week it has been. We started off with WAP, which was fantastic. We had an episode on that. You should go back and check it out. But welcome to a special episode of the House 94 podcast. And man, the sun is out in Wakanda today. So again, I apologize for the sunglasses, but we had to get together to get this on wax. We had a historical situation happen. The great Madam Vice President Kamala Harris was selected to join the Democratic ticket for President Vice President with Joe Biden. And, we got mixed feelings all the way around, but there's definitely some buzz and an excitement level. And, we was like, hey, we got to get back in the lab. We got to get this one on wax. So we decided to have a special episode to commemorate and to chop it up about our sister Kamala Harris and to, basically just kind of, get the opinions out there and get the words out about what we think about what this means. And if we think the pick was in order and all of that. Personally, I'm a fan. I think Kamala Harris is quite accomplished, intelligent. She's well equipped and won her national election in California or statewide election in California. And I think she's going to be a tremendous vice president and hopefully president. But, we got to take it around the horn and see what everybody thinks. So I guess first question, I guess, that we throw out there is, do we think she was the best pick? And let's start with Kwesi and go around the horn.
Well, here's the short on the best pick for me. I think she's definitely qualified, accomplished Black woman, very astute, and is ready for the job. But even if she wasn't all that right now, she's the better choice than what we have. And so, as far as I'm concerned, she gets my vote on GP alone.
That's what I like how you say she gets the vote, like Biden ain't even a part of it. Lou, come on, man, give it to me.
Was she the best pick? I don't know. I thought that Biden had a good choices that he had narrowed down. Honestly, if he had chosen almost any of them, I wouldn't have been upset. Certainly not upset with Kamala Harris. I think she's going to light Pence up when they have their debate. It's going to be some must watch programming.
Must see TV, brother.
And looking at her history in California and San Fran, and then on the state level in California, she's accomplished quite a few things that in the primary, at least I wasn't fully aware of. It seems like there was some negative stuff that was out there, and that's what the media was harping on.
Social media. But
even the media, I wasn't fully aware of the things that I've become aware of since yesterday evening, which she's done.
I don't know, bro. The media, like the coverage I saw on MSNBC yesterday, mm-hmm. I haven't seen them that excited since Obama got nominated. It felt like that yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think part of it, well, like I said, with the field of choices he had, I think I don't know if it would have been as exciting, but some of the other choices would have elicited some of the same type of response, given the racial tension that's going on right now. Choices of a Black woman for VP is going to elicit that, and then with her credentials.
Actually, brother, let me correct you. She's actually Blasian, sir.
Okay, Tiger.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's been some of the knock against her as well that people were criticizing.
You know what? Actually, it seemed like yesterday it looked like MSNBC was trying to create a narrative where they're trying to soften her Blackness, if that even makes sense. Like, I saw how they kept talking about first African-American VP, female VP, then they said, first Asian American, and they said first Indian American. And I think they're trying to do some otherism in there to kind of soften her edges for the people that may be still a little bit uncomfortable with having a Black person that close to the presidency.
That's a good. Hey, that's a good point, man. I saw that too. I was watching MSNBC, and of course, one of the consensus of many of the speakers on there was, well, the issue was whether or not she was a safe pick. And of course, everybody was like, well, you can never be a safe pick if you're an African American in anything. But when I look at her, there's a lot of otherisms in there that I think make her a safe pick. Unfortunately, folks don't want to talk about that. And, she's got the whole, half and half. She's half Indian, half Jamaican. So she's light skinned. She's married to a Caucasian male. All those things kind of take away, whether or not it's unconsciously or whatever, or conscious bias or whatever, but it takes away from being Black per se. And so I think it makes her kind of safe. And I think that a lot of people, and it may have even gone into how she was even chosen, who knows? But I think that those are things that people, whether or not they know it or not, I think that they're thinking about. I personally, I think she is a tremendous woman who's had a great career, whether it be as a senator or whether it be as a prosecutor. But I do not agree with some of the things that she did as a prosecutor in California as a district attorney. I mean, there were just a lot of things that she did where she had discretion, where I believe she didn't use it to the best of her abilities. Having that being said, I think one of the issue is that you got to look at the choice that Biden made, right? And whether or not it was the best choice. And so you've got these other picks who come with their own, their own baggage, right? And whether it be, have the experience, whether it be, some issues that may come up later. And I'm talking with respect to like Karen Bass and her pro-Cuban ideals, which I don't have a problem with, but you got to win the state of Florida, right? And that's a big freaking deal. Problem. Yeah, and that's a problem. So, there are other candidates that have and bring along baggage. And so we all knew that Biden was going to pick a Black candidate. Everybody knew that. I think MSNBC yesterday was like, oh, well, yeah, the first Black this, the first Black that, the first Indian this, the first Jamaican that. But at the end of the day, everybody knew that he was picking a Black candidate. They've known that. I mean, you didn't need to be Ray Charles to see that. You know what I'm saying? He could see that shit. So at the end of the day, I believe, from a general perspective, she was a good pick. But she is going to have to make amends with the Black community. She got to come hard with criminal justice reform to, to get those Bernie supporters, those folks who were like, yo, she's not enough. She didn't do enough. Because
I'm like this, man. Like, look at this. To me, when people talk about like lesser of two evils, this is not the time for that conversation for me. Right. You can hear that conversation during the primary, okay? That's when you got your leverage. That's when Democratic votes make a difference. At this point, you've got one ticket that's offering you rat poison, and another ticket is offering you some cold oatmeal, and you have only those two choices. And we can't play the game of saying, well, I ain't gonna eat. You got these two choices. I'm eating the cold oatmeal. I'm eating the cold oatmeal. It's opposed to eating the poison.
I think the negative that people are saying about her track record is hogging the spotlight of the positive things that she did. She did some things that that were beneficial as well. So she created the reentry division, the first-time nonviolent criminals, age 18 to 30.
Yep.
They had to do, I believe, 220 hours of community service, get their high school equivalent of a diploma. And then the success rate on that, well, first thing, it was only $5,000 cost per participant versus $10,000 to incarceration, and then $50,000 to house them in a jail or prison annually.
Right.
And then her success rate, less than 10% of those people who participated in that program, I believe it was about 220 people over a 6-year period, less than 10% of them were convicted of another crime again. So she had success there.
Hang on, let me get JT in for a minute. If he don't have all his children running around.
Yeah. You know, my opinion is that I think she definitely reignites the base. I kind of agree with Crump that, you know, it's not a shocking pick for VP, but I think that she brings a different perspective in terms of, you know, the first person of color as a woman on a major national ticket. And so that's something that we saw during the primaries where you had a lot of potential women coming through for the presidency. And so I think that Biden, in my mind, was always slanted to make sure that he had a woman as a VP. And I think, you know, she fills that. And also, you know, cherry on the top is that she is a person of color. And I think that what you have to understand is that
I thought the cherry on top was that she was very, very attractive. Not that that has anything to do with her qualifications.
We're not going to go there, but I think that you will see people try to bucket her a little bit. But you know, she's diverse ethnically, and from a male's perspective as well. So I think that she's going to do well on the ticket.
And I think also, you know, being married, being in an interracial marriage, right? I actually think that is going to help her because for the latent racist, that makes her a little bit more acceptable. And then Trump can't run the game because, you know, they like to say, like, if you refer to him as racist, it's like, no, you're racist. Well, you can't say that because she's married to a Caucasian man. So it kind of eats up the narrative. This is going to be, to me, it's similar to Obama. Rush Limbaugh said when Obama first kind of got on the scene, he was afraid of him being, you know, nominated because he knew that he would win because he said he has a limited record and he doesn't really have anything wrong with him. And you can't attack him because you're going to come off as racist. Now, with the Me Too movement, Black Lives Matter, everything else, she's going to be really hard to attack without it being something that's personal, something that you're going to get attacked for. Can't come at her history with men. You know, she had a little Willie Brown situation eons ago. And, you know, Donald Trump has had sex with, you know, countless women, prostitutes, strippers, you know, porn stars, you name it. So that really shouldn't be a part of the discussion. Mike Pence doesn't have a penis, so he's not really, you know, part of the discussion in that regard. But then if you think about like what the vice president is supposed to do, right? They're supposed to, one, do no harm, and two, prosecute the case for your administration and against the other. She's about to tear their ass up. I can't wait.
Yeah. She came out firing too on her acceptance speech, if you can call it that, where she came out firing. Yeah, at Trump, you know, like how he inherited one of the largest economic booms of the last, you know, umpteen years, and how he also inherited, and she made a jab at his inheritance from his parents and how he ran that into the ground, squandered that. So she's fired up, and I think that she's going to be a great pick, and she definitely you know, has made substantial improvements on her record as a former prosecutor in terms of what she's done around justice reform as a senator. So I think it's going to be great.
Quasi, go ahead.
Hey, well, we were talking about her ethnic diversity, which I think is a huge point and should play to her advantage because typically, you know, they just view someone like her as an angry black woman, you know, given her position in terms of how she's viewed, right? And to have that diverse background will take away from the angry part, right? And suggest, given her diverse background, there's a calmer sense to her that I think is going to be appealing. I agree with you about being married to a white man. That will definitely take away from any kind of anti-white stance that anyone could view her having, you know. So I think they have to be strategic about using her diverse background, which they will. Again, I think she's qualified. She definitely has some challenges in terms of her past record that I'm sure people are going to want her to make amends for. But at the end of the day, I still think that we need to rally the troops around her, circle the wagon, and support her and lift her as Biden's partner in this race and get them into the White House.
Man. And, you know, when you talk about the angry black woman thing, you know, I watch a lot of political news, right? I watch like congressional hearings and shit like that. I don't know why, but I do. But I've watched her in those judiciary hearings. That is correct. I do not read. I watched her in those judiciary hearings, and the time she had Bill Barr's fat ass up there undressing his ass, she wasn't angry. She was professional and measured. She fucked his ass up, and it was amazing to watch because it was like, and they just got mad. I think dealing with Trump and Pence, Trump hates women for one. He detests black women. He's already called her nasty a bunch of times. Which I think it's a weak ass shit, you know, referring to women as nasty like that.
Yeah, where's he get that from? Who taught him that word nasty?
Who fucking know? Who knows, man? It's some bullshit. But he can't, like, the reporters can't talk back, right? Because he talks to the female reporters that talk shit to him. He calls her nasty all the time. Now she's on a national stage. She's gonna be on TV all the time. She's gonna be interviewed a lot, mics in her face a lot. I cannot wait to see how she lights his ass up. And he's gonna be beside himself this whole time because this uppity black lady keeps talking shit to him.
Yeah, and it helps that she's a former prosecutor, so her summation skills are gonna be tight.
Oh my God. So, it's fantastic. So we talked about, you know, I guess we all think that she's the best pick. So it kind of makes the other question moot. But like, why were the other ones not as good of picks, right? So you had Karen Bass, Val Demings, you had Stacey Abrams, Keisha Lance Bottoms, you had the governor of Michigan, Whitmer. You had, you know, there was a lot of, you know, even Tammy Duckworth and a few other people were up there, even Elizabeth Warren. Why were they not the right pick?
I don't know, man. I really can't answer that question. I thought if he had chosen any of them, it would have rallied the troops. I think that she proved on the national stage in her run for president that she could handle herself. Then she briefly led in the polls. Her background has shown that she has the ability in California to raise significant amounts of money. I don't know if the others had that proven track record.
Well, the problem is that what I did see a problem, and even Trump, with his bum ass brought it up, is that, you know, she polled so poorly in the primaries. You know, she came out to a head start where she, you know, jabbed up on Biden a little bit and jumped out there real quickly, and then she slowly kind of faded out. And
she made one mistake, bro. She made one mistake.
What was that?
What fucked her in the primaries when they had, if you recall that debate, and they said, "Do you want to eliminate private insurance?" And she said yes, so proudly and so confidently. Mm-hmm. She was dead right there. Her campaign was over right there.
Right. She didn't. That's the thing. She didn't sound like she had a plan though on that.
Well, she was trying to say what she thought was the right thing, the progressive thing to say, but nobody has an appetite for losing their private insurance, you know, without seeing a better alternative. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I think we don't know at the end of the day, we don't know who you know, what the issues were as far as what was dug up on the other candidates. As I mentioned before, there were you know, certain things we know with Karen Bass, you know, with her pro-Cuba stance. I personally thought that Stacey Abrams was kind of my favorite, but I don't want to delve into that. There, you know, she didn't have she didn't have the same amount of experience, I believe, that Kamala Harris had.
Not at all.
But
she lost the statewide race. I mean, I know it was in Georgia, but she didn't win a statewide
race. I mean, it wasn't California, and Georgia is a highly red state. Kamala was in California,
and it was close. It was very close.
It was. She ran a very good campaign, and she, to me, was probably one of the smartest out there. And I'm not just saying that because she's our Spelman sister, but I really thought that, you know, the ideas she conveyed and how she ran her campaign and the things that she talked about really would have made her a great candidate. But at the same time, I thought Kamala Harris has kind of a package that I don't think anybody else could probably compare to. I wasn't really as knowledgeable about the other candidates. I know like Keisha Lance Bottoms, Mayor Bottoms out of Atlanta was a potential pick, and I don't think she had the experience. Although,
Yeah, she had issues too with what she got involved with.
yeah, and
Purchasing a home in the beautiful town or island of Martha's Vineyard, but we won't talk about that.
So yeah,
well,
so
the fact that
issue.
Keisha Lance Bottoms was a part of the Atlanta the Atlanta mayoral pipeline
Mm-hmm.
tells you that she's got some dirt on her somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So that was gonna get dug in. She was a mayor. I mean, she didn't win a statewide race. I don't know why people were thinking that she was gonna carry Georgia or bring Georgia because she was the mayor of Atlanta,
Right.
one of the blackest cities in America. Now the thing about Stacey Abrams, I thought originally that she drummed up a lot of the black vote in Georgia, and that's how she won. That's how she did so well. Actually, from what I understand, she did a lot of campaigning in rural Georgia, and she actually got a lot of rural votes, which is a big deal for a black candidate.
Right. No, her campaign ran an excellent campaign. I mean, they were all in the majority white populations of
Yeah,
Georgia,
exactly.
And so and really, in my opinion, that election was stolen, because of the fact that there were places that were closed down.
Yeah,
that's what happens. Yep.
Yeah. And so, but the votes not counted, whatever. But anyway, I mean, we don't know what the issues with the other candidates are. I know there was, I forget the congresswoman out of Texas. I believe she's a police officer or former police
Val
officer.
Demings.
Yeah.
Florida. She's out of Florida.
Oh, out of Florida. Okay. Yeah, I thought she was good, but I really didn't like how she the way she presented herself, and other people may think differently. I didn't like how she presented herself during the impeachment hearings. I was not that impressed by that.
I mean, the Democrats were just generally unimpressive throughout the whole process.
They were. I mean, they were the only person. I thought Chef was probably the best, but everybody else kind of was horrible to me. But anyway, everybody, I'm sure, at the end of the day, there were things that could.
You got to get a counter for the end of the day in a minute.
We're gonna sip a shot of tequila every time I say it.
Well, you know what? Like Susan Rice probably was the most well equipped and probably the most qualified to be vice president, quite frankly. And she probably has the best working relationship with Biden. Mm-hmm. But the problem with Susan Rice is she was tied up in the Benghazi scandal, and that would have given the Republicans a lot of fuel and oxygen.
Yeah,
because Fox News would have started that Benghazi shit. They would have started another trial in the Senate. Yeah. They would have been dragging us all through that, and we'd have been hearing Benghazi, and that's effectively what happened to Hillary Clinton.
Right. Also, what was said, as far as when she got on the plane with Bill Clinton that time, as far as the information, there was some type of issue of what was shared on what was known about Benghazi was shared with Bill Clinton on the phone, and there was some piece about that where, whether or not that violated the ethics code as far as what was said to him or what have you. But anyway, I
firmly believe that there was some shenanigans around that, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it required all of that sham of a trial and all that bullshit. Mm-hmm. But because in fact, if you remember what happened in Benghazi, they were trying to say it wasn't terrorism. It was based on that video, right?
Right.
And I think it was a confluence of issues that caused it. But I do think they did do some lying in the way they presented the story to the public.
I mean, Benghazi the whole thing was they were saying they weren't sufficiently staffed and all that stuff. It was
the Hillary Clinton part, yeah.
Yeah, the Hillary Clinton
send the attaché or whatever.
Yeah, they didn't have enough people up there, and it was a bunch of BS at the end of the day.
And it was Benghazi. I mean, if it happened in Martha's Vineyard, I'd be like, damn, that's fucked up.
Right.
Dog, Benghazi's a bad part of the world. I don't know. I mean, I feel bad for Chris Stevens, but I'd be like, hey, man, I might go to, some other parts of Libya. I ain't fucking with Benghazi.
Right.
Y'all can have that shit.
Right. So, but I think, Kamala Harris, we'll see what happens, man. I think she's going to be stern. And, I think the nasty part of her, I don't think Trump has seen yet. I think she's going to give it to him. And she already came out with her campaign speech, or her acceptance of the VP speech, brawling. So, I think that's what we can expect.
And you know what? To me, because she ain't like this Princeton, Harvard crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those are the people that don't always know how to code switch and all that kind of stuff. They just stay in code.
Right.
She went to Howard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And she is, to me, elegantly niggerish.
Right. I mean, and see, that's a good point, because a lot of folks.
And I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and that's what I like her, because she is HBCU, so she knows how to code switch. And if it's time to get down, she's going to get down,
Right. And see, where most Democrats try to be collegial, right? And they don't want to really mix it up and don't want to call you a liar to your face.
Right.
And I think she's about to be like, man, you a goddamn lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She pledged AKA back in the 80s on HU, on the campus of HU. So
yes, sir.
I know she knows how to hold her own.
It was good shit.
And that means she pledged, and she's gonna have that AK support is about to be like that.
Yeah,
that AK support,
AKA Nation is about to be man.
Yeah, that AK people are gonna be like, who? They're gonna be thinking that's a gang.
Coming with the green.
Yeah. So you know what's interesting about that though, given the sorority piece and overall Divine Nine, do you think from an overall Divine Nine standpoint that this should just be an absolute, she gets the vote and the whole Biden Harris ticket get the vote, or should we be able to have some diverse thought?
She could be a Gamma Pi. She could be a Gamma Pi, or I don't know what the white sororities are. I don't give a shit what she is. Anybody with a D by their name is gonna get the vote from me. Personally.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm thinking about the judges. I'm thinking about the pandemic response.
Right.
All the things that that this administration has just fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
They got to get out of there at all costs.
The D9 needs to come all. Like,
exactly.
Come all. I don't care. If that means that everybody show up in their colors at her, wherever she is.
Yeah,
man.
I don't. Look, we're still in COVID lockdown. I don't think we're gonna have any rallies.
No, I'm not.
Or anything like that.
He didn't mean it like that.
I'm not saying that.
I'm talking about solidarity, like I'm saying.
Yeah. We're just talking about support. I'm not talking about we're gonna show up at her house and all. I'm saying.
Because Secret Service got assigned, okay?
Yeah,
yesterday.
But I think Quasi's answer to the question is she deserves every single one of our support, regardless of the fact that she went to Howard and we love the Spelman girls, regardless if she's an AKA and the bros roll with the Delta. I don't care.
Exactly.
It is. We have to be behind her.
It's a PNG affair right now, brother.
Necessarily agree with her politics. But I am going to be behind her.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going with it. It's like I said, I think from a pure solidarity, and again, that doesn't mean we have to agree with any of her past decisions or anything. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. But from a solidarity standpoint, it should just be a given.
Mm-hmm.
But let me ask you this. Do you think that even, part of the Divine Nine is, obviously, you got sororities and fraternities, but to the extent that you have a woman in this position exerting a level of power, do you have issues now with sexism? Is that where it cuts across all races, all ethnicities, right? And some people may say, I'm not going to, run with that ticket because she's a woman.
You know what? I've had more conversations than I would have expected with guys that I know, where I was surprised by how uncomfortable they were with the prospect of a female president. I mean, I was excited as shit yesterday. I was watching it because I knew it was coming yesterday. I mean, they kept, teasing it. My eyes were glued to the TV all day. When I saw it, man, it was just a rush of pride came over me. I felt so good about it. And then, I'm like, man, this is the shit. And then, she gonna probably, Biden probably ain't gonna make it through the whole term. So she'll either be a sitting president or, he might just decide to just be a one-termer because it'll be like 95 after this first term is up. And, she'll be poised to be the president. I'm like, man, that'd be some hot shit. But there are, to your point, James, there's a lot of people that aren't really, really ready for a female president. I think that's a fucking shame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that was part of the reason why Hillary didn't get elected. I mean, she had a bad.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a whole bunch of reasons why Hillary wasn't elected.
The white women sold her out.
Yeah, but I mean,
Joe did.
At the end of the day, she was not, in my opinion, electable. She had a whole bunch of issues. I think Kamala will have to, in some extent, distinguish herself, because I think you still will have some of those people out there, you know, because they know the prospect of her becoming president, given Biden's age, if it were running for president.
And lack of mental acuity.
That sexism is real, because for whatever reason, women hate on women more so than men hate on women.
Right.
You know? And
back to Hillary shit, people talking about they were upset at Hillary because she stayed with her man or because she didn't support him enough. It was like, huh? I can't imagine that. I don't even understand how Hillary Clinton got blamed for any part of the Monica Lewinsky situation, but she did.
Yeah.
She held on.
You.
Huh?
Chris Rock told you that.
Yeah, speak on it, bro.
What did Chris Rock say?
She was doing what she was supposed to be doing.
Oh Lord, here we go.
We need to roll back to the last episode, maybe, you know.
Yeah,
right. Listen, the WAP episode was
exactly
episodes ago.
Yeah, we need to take it back to that. But, you know, I don't know, man. There is sexism out there, and I think that's a fucking shame. And man, brothers need to just get with it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's 2020, man. We got daughters and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Shit is fucked up right now. You know, maybe we need to take a real radical change and get a female president. Shit.
Yeah, no, you're right. And that daughter stuff is real. I actually, when I heard the announcement was made, I turned on I had my daughter turn on the television. I was like, "Oh, look," and she was like, "Oh, she's about to be vice president." I was like, "No, she was selected as vice president." Oh, neat. That's what my daughter said. You know what I mean? And so I just, subliminally, I was trying to get that out across, like, yo, you can do this shit too. You know,
this is a big deal, man.
It's big deal.
Definitely a big deal.
It's a chick that looks just like you.
Right, quick, fellas. Do you guys think the numbers?
Chuck, all right.
In the house.
The numbers of like Obama, the record numbers came out to vote. I think that announcement is going to boost those numbers up, and people are going to be more inclined to go out and vote. I mean, I don't know what's your perspective on that.
Can you imagine what Oprah's about to do with this?
Yeah, I like all the celebrities that's going to be involved with this.
Oprah Nation,
I think people
AKA
run with
Nation, celebrities, like, cause she is a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? She's like the female version of Obama.
I hope so, Chuck.
Yeah,
I think Obama came out on such a grand level.
Yeah,
he did.
But all the things we talked about, the sexism, whether or not you like it or agree with it or not, the issues she has on criminal justice reform, whether or not, But what I'm saying is, whether or not you agree with her or not, I don't know whether or not you're going to have the same level of enthusiasm as you did for Obama, just because of those two issues, the sexism and her criminal justice reform. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't vote for her because of that, but I'm just saying there are going to be people who are going to be like, let me scratch my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a perfect segue to this next question. There was an explosion of chatter in Black Twitter, Facebook, our different Facebook groups, our different group me's, all the different, group threads we're a part of. Everybody was expressing an opinion. There was a lot of joy and exuberance. I'm at the point where I'm intolerant about it. So I'm shutting down any bullshit that comes on my page. Anybody says something disparaging or something negative about Kamala Harris, definitely this shit is getting deleted, and your ass might get deleted as a friend. And I'm not even open to an intellectual debate about shit. You know what I'm saying? And I have found most people don't even understand how politics work. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand the electoral college. They call it the electoral college. These ignorant motherfuckers out here, and they don't understand how Congress works. They understand a lot of shit. They have opinions about shit, right? And because they talk about, like, well, what you gonna do for Black people? Are we gonna get reparations? Bitch, give me the 60 senators that's gonna vote for the shit. Let's talk about that, and we can make that another episode. But Black Twitter was down on it a little bit. There was mixed emotions, but what do y'all think about all the negative responses that we saw out there? Because a lot of people were saying they couldn't come to vote for either one of them, Biden or Harris.
Yeah. I was gonna say that one time that I heard is that she's they keep labeling her as African American, and she's not African American. You have to understand her background, right? So Jamaican immigrant, Indian immigrant, and so that came across heavily. I saw, in terms of what I call the quote unquote backlash on her candidacy, and Biden picking her.
I don't get that. I don't really get
I
that.
don't get it either. She was born in the United States of America.
Born in the United States of America.
Yeah.
She is of African ancestry. And we know in the United States, Plessy versus Ferguson, if you're one
drop
freaking black, you're an octoroon, your ass is black.
You gotta get on the other side. That's
Her parents happen to be from Jamaica and India. Guess what? She was born, but because we know you're one
Thank
drop
goodness
that
for that combination. My goodness.
Right. Yep. When you come to the United States, or you're born in the United States, that you're African. You were born. She was born here. So that's all bullshit. That's all changing the narrative, whatever. Because hell, ain't none of us as much as KB wants to think he's 100% Mandingo. Ain't none of us out here 100% Mandingo from the Motisa tribe.
You see how wide my nose is, bro?
Right. But I think what they said is that she's never identified as that, and I think that's what people have to get over.
But
I think that's the question about her. I think there's a question about her like
that's
Obama.
Even worse.
Like Obama, though, she does have slave blood. Obama did not have slave blood.
Yeah, but look, who is anybody to say she never identified? I mean, the limited stuff I know about it.
She went to Howard.
No, I agree. I'm just
you can say
what I heard.
Identified all day long.
In order for you to even play
Howard, right? She went to Howard in Washington, chocolate, motherfucking DC, right? There's some identity with black people.
And so
she's in a sorority.
Exactly.
Right? She's an AKA. There's identification with black people. Anyone who doesn't want to acknowledge those two things, they got the problem, not her.
Exactly. Right. The fact that you pledged AKA, the history of AKA, the purpose of AKA, the founders of AKA. That means you identify with black sisterhood. So there's nothing you can't. Anybody who says that, they're on some bullshit.
I co-sign that shit.
Yeah.
Dig that. Yeah, she plenty black for this thread to leave that shit. Now, and I guess the other question I got is, for the haters, the people that don't like Biden and say they can't bring themselves to vote for him, or they don't like Harris. I heard a couple people said, I guess they're going to lose the election now. But I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Trump barely fucking won. Like, if you go back into the Electoral College results from 2016, right? Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, those states were 47-47. He won by within a percentage point, okay? Be it not for them 30,000 idiots that voted for his ass, Hillary Clinton would be president right now. I think most people don't understand that. Go check the fucking tape.
Yeah,
go back and Google the shit. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. He wanted.
But I don't know what people are looking for. You know what I'm saying? Because again, whatever legislation or whatever support you want for the black community in this current political system, you got to get it past the House, and it's got to get 60 votes in the Senate for it to go forward, right? Until we can make that case to enough senators to get 60 in Congress, none of this shit makes a difference. There's nothing the president can do.
Right. Yeah. That pretty much is it, man. So really the down ballot, the people who are running for senators and House of Reps, we really got to represent.
We got to represent, man. Vote, voter registration, education, and mobilization, baby.
It'll be like, when Obama came in, man, he had Congress, right? He had a majority of the Senate, and he had the House of Rep. 2 years later, Tea Party came in,
wiped his ass
out, shit, and he was couldn't get shit done. Luckily, he
You know
got
what?
the Obamacare done within those first 2 years he was there. Otherwise, there would be.
It wouldn't have never came. Yep.
He would not have had a single legislative achievement. And you know what's funny? And I hope that, and the problem Obama had was he made the fundamental miscalculation of believing that Republicans were less racist than they were patriotic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're actually more racist than they are patriotic because they'd rather see America go up in flames than to see, President Obama have any legislative achievements.
Right. You cut your nose off to spite your face.
Exactly. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, Biden learned from going through that experience. And I don't think that they're going to deal with Biden like they dealt with Obama, provided they win. I don't think it's going to be the same thing because, he's been around. He's one of them. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the Senate. He was in the Senate for, his entire life.
Yeah.
So, perhaps, Obama was a black guy, a young guy, and they felt like he was like before, he jumped too soon. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully Biden will get a little bit more respect and be able to get a few more things done and have more sense than to think that the Republicans are going to support him on anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
and what I hope
fellas,
too, what
I
hope too, Carl B, is that, you had this ticket with the former governor of Alaska, right? Sarah Palin, and how they came out and attacked her. So I hope Biden also has learned to kind of hopefully avoid some of those issues and how to navigate, these attacks that will come, during this whole kind of election phase. So,
I think girls will be equipped to deal with that. Go ahead, Chuck.
Harris, she's a pit bull, and I know she can handle herself with those debates and all those policies that they might debate over. However, her being so aggressive, what do you guys think? Is that gonna hurt her or help?
Nah, you just some people might say that shit. She has every right to be as aggressive as she damn well fucking please.
That's what I wanted to hear. Okay, that's what I thought. Everybody, I just wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page.
And she's professional and tactful and just fucking amazing.
Gonna have to be a pit bull.
It sounds like I like her a lot. I do. And fuck you if you don't like her.
Well, here's the other thing too. It's not even just that, be aggressive. I mean, if she was soft, then we'd be saying she don't deserve to be there. So you can't win either way, right? And if it's up to me, I would rather have someone who I know had conviction, had passion, she about the business, and she's gonna go get it. And that seems to be who she's been thus far, which is why she's garnered my support up to this point as well.
Yeah, that. Well, hey guys, we're at the top of the hour. I think we got some good shit on wax today with this special episode. Anybody got any burning parting shots on the way out? Sounds like a winner. Let's vote. Voter registration, education, mobilization needs to be what it's all about. Vote early. You know what I'm saying? I would probably avoid the mail shit. If you can, just stay in your line and vote.
Exactly.
You know put your blue ink down like you do in Iraq.
Hey, Carl, like you said, vote. And I would tell everybody, manage your expectations, man, that we can't be petty. We can't be short-sighted. We got to see the bigger picture with the Biden-Harris ticket and vote accordingly, support this ticket because it's better than our alternative.
Man, we don't have an alternative.
What I think too, Carl B, is that you have to be careful because of the vote-in ballot, the mail-in ballots that they may try to make a play to say there's voter fraud, and so this may get drugged. This might get dragged out in the courts. So
that's what I'm saying. Take your ass to the poll. Put your mask on.
Right.
Get your 6 feet social distancing, and just stand in there. Take your lawn chair. You know what I'm saying? Chill out and just take the day off. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? This is worth one day's pay. You know what I'm saying?
So good to read. Look at your cell phone. And
man, this is your cell phone charged.
Absolutely.
Yeah, talk shit on
read
Facebook.
Those articles.
Look at the stories.
Good articles out there about her too. Good
articles. This shit. Read the funny papers. Read Pimp Iceberg Slim. Whatever you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Go out there and vote. Sit your ass in the damn line and vote. So, thehouse94.com, the House 94 podcast, IG, Twitter, all of that. Check us out. Subscribe. YouTube. All those different platforms. And again, we love your feedback. We got a lot of feedback. Oh, and if you didn't see the last episode, you need to go check out WAP Marriage 1 and 2. They liked it. Actually, my wife liked it. We watched it last night. So thanks for tuning in. And until next time, we out.
Take care.
Peace.